What's up, everybody? I was trying to find something with some scenery through. I was going to open up the doors, but it's actually starting to rain a little bit, and so I'm not going to open up the doors, but I do have the dam behind me there. But welcome to this week's SB50 Cinematography Challenge. I'm your host, Bill Howard. Scott cannot be with us today, but even though he's not here, we still want to show him some love. So make sure everybody says hey and go ahead and wave to your monitor there, and I'll make sure that Scott sees it. Anyway, this week's challenge is going to be a follow-up on last week's challenge where we're trying to blend them in, obviously. Last week we did the medium range shot, basically this part of the body, and Scott went over that with you. This week we're going to do the close-up. The purpose of the close-up is to bring attention to the focus of the scene. So for instance, let's say I'm talking to somebody else and I'm just rambling on and it's gibberish, blah, 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 and just carrying on constantly. You can have a cutaway from me to the other person and have that person roll his eyes, feel uncomfortable, try to get out of the conversation. Meanwhile, cut back to me and I'll focus here on these lips, on the talking, to show that this is what is absolutely driving the scene and driving the other character insane. So you use those close-ups to really bring in the detail of not just the image, but of the scene. Now that was just one example. Be creative, think through it. The close-up works very well for something, let's say like you have an officer who pulls over the driver and you bring the close-up on the driver's face and sweat coming down his face as he tries to talk his way out of a ticket, but he also knows he's got a dead body in the trunk. Or a dog that's chewing a bone in the living room and is just smacking and slobber is going everywhere, and you focus in on that. There's a lot of things you can work with on this, and it doesn't always have to be a living thing either. I mean, it can be a rock. It can be the way water, the bubbles flow through the water in a river, as long as it's telling the story that you want. Now, like we did with the medium shot, with the close-up, what we want you to do is work on your composition as well. Think of those rule of thirds. We got the 2 verticals, the 2 horizontals, and the 4 points that are intersected. That's where you want your focus to run to, okay? So let's get out there. We got 2 weeks to get this done. Again, Scott and I both got some projects that are going on, and we do this full-time for a living. I do photography, he does cinematography. So when we get these jobs, we have to take them. So I apologize for being late on the review. I will have the review out tomorrow. And let's get this stuff done. As always, 3 to 10 seconds. Go over if you need to, as long as it's needed for the story. And remember, we've got the rule of thirds, but break the rules if you have to. I don't have a problem with that as long as it's proper for the story. We have rule of symmetry. We have the rule of odds. There's a number of rules you can work with. We are kind of staying with the rule of thirds is what we want to do. But again, it's your story. Let's see what you've got. And I look forward to seeing what you have. Make sure you invite some people over, whether it's photography friends, cinematography friends, YouTube channel type people. Invite them into the group. We'd love to have them join in so we can kind of all learn from each other and build this community up a little bit further. So, until tomorrow where we have the review, let's make 2019 a magical year.